But today, I guess if there were 2 or 3 themes that came out of the discussion on transit, the number one theme, and I think it was evidenced by the people in the room, and you heard me allude to this in my opening remarks, was about different words were used. Cooperation, the most frequently used word, alignment, coordination, but people said we need much more of it on a continuing basis. They wanted the cooperation also to be more businesslike in the following respect. They think that quite often what goes on with government-related bodies is coordination and cooperation and alignment that happens for show. Things are staged. And they want much more sort of immediate cooperation that happens for real and that happens much faster. A couple of people who in very senior positions in that room talked about how we have to be on kind of the plan that's the 5-day plan, the 5-week plan, or the 5-month plan, and not the 5-year plan. And I guess that relates to the second point that came out of this morning's discussions, and it's certainly something I took away from the election, and that is a sense of urgency. I mean, the city is strangling itself on traffic and lack of available public transportation, and it is causing serious harm. We've had this discussion, we've seen the numbers, nobody argues with the numbers, and yet there doesn't seem to be sometimes that collective sense of urgency about getting things done. And so really what people said to us this morning was, don't miss the opportunity now with some of the goodwill that has come from the fact there's been an election, or elections, plural, provincially and federally. There is one coming federally. There seems to be a consensus on the part of the people in the city that we need to act on these kinds of things. Don't miss the opportunity to seize that. There was quite a discussion today about the flexibility that's needed to accommodate other ways of doing things, newer ways of doing things. I sort of connected this in a way to the comments I made about Uber last week, which were not about allowing the Wild West to transpire where everybody can just go around and decide they're a taxi or a limo, but rather to say that we have to take technology and take new ways of doing things, even including financing and a whole lot of things, and be open to doing things different ways that are going to help us to get things done faster. And then finally, the last point of the day that was made, just literally was the last point of the day, but I think it was important, and that was that somebody said that the concept that I've talked about often of One Toronto was something that we were going to have to work at as well when it came to getting this kind of buy-in on transit. And that it's fine to have an election that focused on transit, it's fine to be able to identify sort of who won in the sense of getting the most votes, but that there are still a whole bunch of people out there with different responsibilities in this area, and a whole lot of people in the public who have different needs and concerns, and that we've got to try and bring that together.